Hi, I'm Valerie Espinosa. I'm the chair of the New Mexico Public Regulation Commission, and I want to thank you for watching another edition of our program. Today I am going to introduce you to Letitia Montoya, although you need no introduction, and she is a candidate for Santa Fe County Clerk, and I want to say that anybody that is wanting to be on this program can give me a call at 827-4533. I'd like to thank you for asking us to appear on this show. We've been doing this for many years. And I want to welcome you and say that it's been a pleasure getting to know you. And I want to wish you luck on your efforts to become the next Santa Fe County Clerk. I know you are a native of Santa Fe and you went to St. Mike's. So with that, I'll let you take over and tell me about yourself, tell the audience who you are and why you want to be Santa Fe County Clerk.
Okay. Well, I'm Letitia Montoya, and I am running for Santa Fe County Clerk, and I did grow up in Santa Fe, graduated from St. Mike's in 1980, went on to the College of Santa Fe.
When did you go to the College of Santa Fe? I was there.
It was in 1980 when
so right after you graduated.
Went right into college, yes.
How was it with the brothers and?
Oh, I loved it. I really did. It was, I had some excellent teachers, and my math teacher, Brother Bob, was so awesome, and he was in charge of the math department, and that's actually what I got my degree in. It was mathematics, and then I had to get a minor, so I minored in computer science. And I look at the technology then to the technology now, totally different.
Do you remember the computers were boxes?
Oh God. That was like, that's the old.
And the index cards from when I worked in the Secretary of State's office, we used to use index cards.
Yes.
So. Well, hats off to you for going to the College of Santa Fe right out of high school.
Yes. I thought, I was one that I thought I had to do it right away, because sometimes when you don't actually continue on, then sometimes you may not go back to school. And then I did, I worked for TRW, and once I graduated from college, and I worked on a war and defense project, so I analyzed their graphs and stuff like that. And then I had gotten pregnant from my first child, and I said, well, let's think about something different. So I went back to school again, and I was actually going to my whole plan was to go to medical school. So I went back to work on my biology degree, and at the same time I got my master's degree. So I'm just one credit away from a biology degree, because
you may as well take that course.
I know, that's what my husband tells me, but
there's no time in a day.
Oh God, no. I mean, like, he even encourages me to go back and get my PhD, but right now it's just the timing isn't right. I became a grandma, and that was such a pleasure. I never thought how much I would love to be a grandmother. And
how old's your granddaughter? Because I have one too, and they're just a blessing.
Oh, aren't they? Oh my God, they make your life just like joyful. It's like Christmas is fun again, Easter's fun again. All the different holidays are really exciting, because now you have something to look forward to. And so,
just wait till you have to start going to their school events and the dances and the the games, and that's even more rewarding, because you're a part of it and you're there for them. So.
Oh yeah, and I can hardly wait for that. And then after that, then I married my husband, Michael Segura, and his family's originally from Santa Fe too, and then we had a daughter named Gabriela Montoya Segura.
Is she the one that's a beauty pageant something or another?
Oh yeah, that little girl.
Tell us about her. She's a doll. I have a picture with her.
I know. She's in this, she wants to be Miss America, and she's doing it because they are an excellent organization, because they have Miracle Network, and it's actually, they have it at UNM, and they raise money for children, for the families that can afford the bills. So it's kind of like St. Jude's, the same kind of structure. And so that's one of their big goals, is to raise money for that organization. And then they have an excellent scholarship program, and she's pre-med. She's in her senior year at UNM. So
I'm impressed.
Yeah. And then
she's quite the firecracker.
Oh God, tell me about it. And then she got promoted to assistant manager at Starbucks.
Huh, my favorite.
I know.
I know.
Everybody's favorite.
That's right. So I know that she competed, and so what is her title now?
Her title is Miss Santa Fe. And she is actually coming down today, and we're going to go to some of the nonprofits because she believes in empowering young women to see that if she can do it, they can do it as well. They could be Miss Santa Fe. They can. There's potential, you know, for the domestic violence children that are in abusive homes, that they can see, look at me, but she never came from an abusive families, but she's just empowering, and I think she gets a lot from me, is like, I'm very wanting to empower people, because I think knowledge is power.
That's right.
And the more educated you can get an individual, the more they'll want to do, like, for example, voting. You know, you lead by example. And that's why I'm involved in this race for Santa Fe County Clerk, is I want to empower our voters. You look at the overall picture of, like, voter turnout
It's always been pretty low.
Yeah, and it's decreasing, and you ask yourself why. And I think we need to come up with a new plan to energize our county, and also to go to the school districts and start empowering our children. Because I know our children, pretty much, if they believe in something and the parents don't, they'll usually say, come on, let's go. And I mean, if you educate these children about voting, I bet you they would ask their parents to register to vote.
I'm not sure if you know this, but when I was county clerk, I would get invited to go into the elementary schools and junior highs and high schools just to conduct it was sort of just an election.
A mock election.
And a mock election.
Yeah.
And so, you know, these kids would get totally excited about it. And it's amazing. You're exactly right. The thrill that's in their eyes, and they want to know how it works. And, you know, if you compete, you know, and put your, you know, vote in the ballot box. One time there was I think it was a school, what was it, for president, class president. And so, you know, they all had their signs out, and you're right, I'm telling you, they want to be enthralled in the process. You just need to take it to them at all levels, so that when they do turn of age, they're ready,
yes,
you know, and they're eligible to vote.
Well, that's what I'd like to continue on, exactly what you're talking about, is working with the school districts, and then seeing if there's a way we can put it into the curriculum for the high schools.
And capture them. I think there's somebody doing that right now. There's some people registering students that are going to turn 18, or were going to by election.
Yes.
The election cycle period, 30 days before.
Yes, and I think that's excellent. I think that was the best thing that could have happened, because my children, they got to register to vote at 17 and a half, but they weren't actually able to cast the ballot. They had to wait until they turned 18, and then that's when they got their voter registration card. But I know that if they would have had that opportunity back then, they would have been so excited to have been part of this election for the presidential.
And I'm sure you're like our parents were. They shoved the registration when you turned. Here, you got to register. It's important.
You know what? I told them about it, but when it was actually, they decided that they wanted to vote. It was just amazing. But then they've been brought up in politics, you know, that they understand the dynamics of how important it is to vote. Yeah, so, but that was a great law that they brought into place.
Yes, so tell us more about Letitia Montoya. I know that you have been very active in politics. You have run for office, and this could be the race. I know you've been very interested in serving. And so, again, I give you a lot of credit, because, you know, when you run for office, you put yourself out there. And as I talk to others, you know, it's not easy to run for office. And when you almost get this close, it's even that much harder. So what has triggered your spark? I know you've been a member of many boards, and you're always active in, you know, Big Brothers Big Sisters, JCs, and you were the previous secretary for the state Democratic Party, and you were a member of the state central committee. And I know that even when I first ran to be a national delegate, I remember I think we're out in there somewhere near, where was it? Way out by Placita somewhere in the Sandias. They had a function, and we all had to compete to be a Democrat or a delegate to the national convention. And I said, "You're not running against me, are you?" Or I think I asked your husband, he said, "No, it's a different category." But I remember seeing you as long as I've been out there trying to serve. So, what has sparked your interest, and why have you run? And like I say, this could be the race that you win.
When you believe in an issue, it's easy to give up. But if you believe in it so much, it's something that you have in your heart. And maybe I've not won, but now it's like I've worked so hard that I ask, everybody out there, for their support. These are the changes I'd like to make. I want to energize everybody. I like, for example, I'd like to see open primaries, because it's our constitutional right to allow anybody to come out to vote. And also, I like convenient voting centers.
Oh, that's a big thing. I just heard a commercial this morning in Bernalillo County. They are advertising, all the convenience centers, and I'm not sure how that's working here at the moment.
It's so sad that it's not.
And I think that was the intention of the statute and the laws, that
Yes.
we would require, enable people to have convenience centers. Again, there's a lot of advertisements in Bernalillo County in the news that you can vote early. Where are you able to vote early? And early voting has started, correct?
It has started, but the only location right now, because it started May the 10th, and it's only at the clerk's office. And then there's going to be 5 other sites that are going to open up.
On what day are those going to open up?
Those are going to be on the 21st, so it's going to open up this coming weekend. But I had contacted the Secretary of State's office to see if there was a statute, because I couldn't find it. And all those sites could have been opened up on the 10th. So that meant that the Pewaukee satellite office would have opened, the fairgrounds, Santa Fe Fairgrounds would have opened, their Christian Life, that's a new one, would have opened up.
Where's that one located?
That one's right here, right across from St. Michael's High School on Seringos Road. Yeah, it's just right there. And then there's the Senior Center in El Dorado, and in Edgewood, it's the new fire station that they just built. But those sites don't open up until the 21st.
That's a good point to get across, that people can vote early, and in the clerk's office, and also at the most popular site that I remember was the rodeo grounds.
Oh yeah.
And we had one for the convenience in northern New Mexico, because Santa Fe County is a huge district, and so we had opened one in McCurdy, and people seem to love that little site. And so I don't think that's available anymore, but people can come to, they'll have to drive into Pewaukee if you live in the rural area of Santa Fe County. Yes. Anything past Pewaukee, they'll have to drive to Pewaukee. Yes. And vote at the fire station. That's where I used to have to vote way back when.
Well, they even closed the Santa Cruz site. So instead of keeping these sites open, they're condensing them, which is like you look where Santa Cruz is into Pewaukee, it's
a good distance.
Yeah.
Good 20 minutes.
And there's another option that we can look at, and they're already doing it in Socorro. And this was my idea way back in the past, is to have a mobile unit that you would go talk with the community and see which day would they like it to be parked there in their community, so people can come out to vote. And that's Socorro's doing it. I think Santa Fe, we have the technology, we have the resources, that we need to start using more of these ideas to make voting access easier instead of making it more restrictive.
Speaking of that, when I was the clerk, we had they'd have a health mobile that they'd gotten. I think they were giving shots or taking blood and samples, or giving the public, opening it to the public. So they'd drive it to these different senior centers. And so then I would tag along with them and do that. So that's a good idea, I think. And just reaching out, just to get people enthused, and like you say, to vote, take it to them instead of,
Yes.
because it's difficult to have to go park, first of all. But now I think you can pull your application online, is that right?